The king of the Mag Empire gets scared seeing Nor's power and flees the scene. Moving forward, we see the battle from Nor's point of view. Due to Lean's wind blast, Nor manages to parry everything and reach the king. As he sees the king, Nor wonders who this old man is, noticing that both the king's and his horse's armor are shining brightly. Nor ponders what such a glowing person is doing here, but then decides to focus on other things, such as keeping the weapons in the air, because if the soldiers get hold of them again, they won't spare him. Nor parries every weapon he sees, not knowing what some large things are, but parrying them too. He then reaches the king again and wonders what the old man is doing. He feels exhausted, and the king looks scared. As Nor stands in the dimly lit hall, his thoughts swirl with confusion. The old king, seated on his ornate throne, stares at Nor with wide eyes full of suspicion. Nor wonders if the king knows him, though he's certain they've never met. The king, however, is convinced that Nor is after his life, the tension palpable as his guards stand ready at his side. Nor attempts to speak, wanting to assure the king that he means no harm. But the words catch in his throat, failing him in the moment of need. Instead of saying anything, Nor offers a reassuring smile, hoping that it will convey his intentions. Unfortunately, his smile, strained and weak from exhaustion, has the opposite effect. The king, already on edge, interprets it as a threat, and his fear overwhelms him. Without a second thought, he rises from his throne and flees, his long robes trailing behind him as he shouts for his guards. The moment weighs heavily on Nor. His strength is depleted. He sways on his feet, the world around him blurring as his body finally reaches its limit. With a sharp, painful cough, Nor collapses to one knee, blood spilling from his lips as he tries to catch his breath. Suddenly, the room is filled with the sound of rapid footsteps and fierce battle cries. Out of nowhere, Miyane appears, her sword slicing through the air as she charges at the soldiers, fending them off with precision and speed. She's a whirlwind of action, her attacks relentless as she clears a path for Nor. But even as she fights, the sheer number of soldiers proves overwhelming. Gilbert and Sick leave to fight with the remaining soldiers. Nor thinks to himself, "This swordsmanship is something I've always admired." Meanwhile, Woken uses his magic to bind the soldiers to the ground. Danda, with his comrades, attacks the soldiers, exclaiming how much he enjoys a good fight, despite the passing years. He decides it's time to finish things and traps the soldiers inside the stones. Yana realizes that all these people are his old instructors, surprised to see them again. Miyane and Korex recognize Nor. Lean heals Nor, and his condition improves. Sick approaches Sin with a grim sense of satisfaction. "I've extracted all the information from the commanding officer of Gun," he says, his voice low but confident. "There's no one left to attack us now." The weight of his words hangs in the air. The relentless pursuit of their enemies is finally over, at least for now. But while their immediate threat has been neutralized, the escape of the king lingers like a shadow over their victory. Woken speaks up, breaking the silence. "The old man must have trusted his army too much," he muses, his voice tinged with a mix of disbelief and pity. The king had placed all his faith in his forces, only to flee in the face of defeat. His arrogance had blinded him to the reality of the battle, and now he was on the run. Nor, still catching his breath after the ordeal, remembers the image of the king as he fled. "His armor, it gleamed," Nor says, the memory vivid in his mind. "It wasn't like any ordinary armor." Woken nods in understanding. "That must have been orichalcum," he explains, a note of reverence creeping into his voice. "A rare and powerful material. That armor is more than just protective gear. It's a strong piece of equipment, imbued with many abilities. The orichalcum armor is renowned across the land, granting its wearer incredible power, endurance, and resistance to magical attacks." The king had prepared for battle, not just with his army, but with this legendary armor. The group quickly realizes the gravity of the situation. "He's likely already reached the border by now," Sick says, frustration lining his voice. "And that place is heavily fortified with weapons. We can't pursue him. It would be a suicide mission." For a moment, it seems like the king has slipped through their fingers for good. But Nor, always one to think outside the box, suddenly speaks up. There might still be a way to stop him, he suggests, his gaze shifting to the massive form before them. All eyes follow his line of sight, landing on the awe-inspiring creature before them, the dragon. Towering above them, its scales shimmering in the dim light, the legendary dragon is a sight to behold. For a moment, the group is speechless, taking in the sheer magnitude of the beast. Woken, who had only ever heard tales of such creatures, can hardly believe his eyes. Incredible, he breathes, his voice filled with wonder. To see a dragon up close, it's beyond anything I could have imagined. As they stand before the dragon, a plan begins to form. The king may have escaped, but with the power of this mythical creature on their side, they just might have a chance to stop him before he can fortify his defenses. Sick heals the dragon, admiring Nor's progress and revealing that he didn't recognize him at first. Woken asks if Nor is truly the same person. Nor admits he didn't expect to meet them again either. Woken jokes about Nor's longevity, and they discuss their plan to fly the dragon. Nor reassures the others that they can count on Rollo, even though Rollo admits he's not completely confident. Nor tries to comfort his teacher, and the dragon awakens, roaring loudly. Rollo interprets the roar, saying it seeks permission for revenge. Woken is astonished that Rollo has tamed the dragon of calamity, and Nor praises Rollo for his abilities. Rollo, struggling with the noise, informs everyone that the dragon has accepted Nor as its master. Nor instructs everyone to mount the dragon, and they prepare to leave. Inz and Lean are the first to go, encouraging Nor to join them. Despite his fear of heights, Nor agrees to follow, unable to let Rollo go alone. He climbs aboard, determined to face his fear. As the group ascends, Kyrex mentions they'll need concealment magic to avoid detection, which he offers to handle. Sin stays behind to manage the soldiers trapped in the stone prison. King Kliss and Rin arrive, and Rin expresses his joy at reuniting with his father and brother. Rin apologizes for not following orders, but his father forgives him, acknowledging that Rin has done a great job. The group mounts the dragon and flies off. King Kliss asks Nor to take care of his children, and Nor promises to bring them back safely. As they depart, Danda asks Sick if he's sure he has nothing more to say to Nor after searching for him for so many years. Sick reflects on their relationship, realizing they were never truly important in Nor's life. He acknowledges that his previous hope of honing Nor's raw talent was foolish. Sick decides to start training again after seeing Nor's achievements, knowing that he can still improve himself. He admits to feeling humbled and inspired, realizing he isn't yet worthy of being a teacher. Meanwhile, the group searches for the king but can't find him. Rin assumes the king has already reached the imperial capital. Kyrex points to a bridge in the distance, explaining that if they cross it, they'll enter the king's kingdom. However, Lean spots the king running across the bridge. Kyrex notes how close they are to the border and warns that any sudden actions could alert the defenses. Rin agrees that they can't let the king escape, fearing he'll attack them again. As the tension rises, the group stands before a wall adorned with an array of ancient, dangerous-looking weapons, axes, spears, swords, and a variety of other relics from past battles. Each weapon seems to emit a subtle, ominous energy, almost as if they have a life of their own. The team knows these weapons are their final obstacle, preventing their escape from the enemy's fortress. Inz, ever vigilant, steps forward and assesses the situation. Her eyes flicker with determination as she turns to Rin. "We don't have time for this," she says, voice steady despite the pressure. "We need to destroy these weapons and secure our way out." She grips her sword, prepared to act. Ren, the leader of the group, trusts Inz's judgment without hesitation. He nods, giving her the go-ahead. "Do it!" Without wasting a second, Inz swings her sword in a powerful, controlled arc. The air crackles with the energy of her attack. Her blade, infused with a spell she learned from her master, glows as it slices through the air. In one fluid motion, she unleashes a wave of energy that shatters the weapons on the wall. Metal clangs against stone, and the once impassable path is cleared, fragments of the ancient weapons scattered at their feet. With the path cleared, Ren turns to Lean, their strategist and arguably the calmest of the group in moments of stress. "Now," Ren says, his voice serious. "Our next move will decide the outcome of the war." There's a pause as Lean absorbs the weight of his words. The upcoming battle could shift the tides in their favor or plunge their entire kingdom into darkness. Lean, always composed under pressure, doesn't falter. She nods confidently, her eyes locking with Ren's. "We're ready," she replies. "We have the power, and with Norse magic, we can do this." The camera zooms in on Lean's determined face before shifting to Nor, their companion and secret weapon in this battle. They both turn to him, expecting the fearless mage to be in battle-ready mode, but what they see shocks them. Nor, who was supposed to unleash his devastating magic, has fainted. His body lies crumpled on the floor, eyes closed, having succumbed to overwhelming fear just as the moment of truth arrived. The sheer intensity of the situation, the weight of the responsibility on his shoulders, was simply too much for him to handle. Ren and Lean stand there, stunned. Lean, with her initial confidence crumbling, looks at Ren in disbelief.